This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Danny, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to thank and acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy Aaron Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, Light Blinded Fool, Green Man, Davis Ferreira, Margaret, Big C, Bennett Williamson, Dylan C, Hannah Green, Noralia, Jordan Gower, and Jeff Searles. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank Primarily Purple, Elizabeth Hansen, Jennifer Cox, and Mozyme for renewing their annual pledge at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. We really appreciate your continued support, and your generosity truly means so much to us. In this episode, we're talking about chapter 37 and the epilogue of Knife of Dreams.
Yep, chapter 37 is Prince of the Ravens, and the epilogue is Remember the Old Saying.
There we go.
Yeah, it's a little bit surreal to be here, honestly. Finishing Knife of Dreams.
Finished it.
Yeah.
Finished it.
Officially done.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. That's a little bit crazy.
Yes.
I gotta say, I think, for the record, Prince of the Ravens is the coolest chapter title I've ever heard. It's so cool.
Okay.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Like, on the level of coolness.
I just wish it wasn't like a Sean Chen thing.
I know, I get that. I get it. But
Sean
still,
Chen.
It's not a Sean Chen thing. It's Matt.
Nah,
it's a Matt thing.
It's a Sean Chen thing. It's a
Turn
title.
it into a Matt thing. Don't be so negative
it's a Sean
about
Chen
it.
Thing.
Jeez, okay.
I am negative about it. I don't care for the Sean Chen. Have I not been vocal enough about that
That's fair.
recently?
That's fair. I don't know how positive
Not
Matt
for
is
me.
either, but that's fine.
Not for me. They're not for me.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Okay, but I also wanted to share something that Elizabeth Davis in our Discord shared. She said she was listening to older Q&A episodes, and she was listening to one where we were early in the Great Hunt.
Okay, long time ago.
Really early on.
Like one child
And
early.
somebody asked us if we were going to finish the series. And we answered that if the fans keep loving us, we'll keep going. And so here we are. Like, if people keep listening, we'll keep producing content.
That's true. That's true.
And here we are.
I think we've been pretty honest about that.
Yeah.
We put a lot of work into it, and I appreciate the support.
Well, I mean, like, yelling into a void is nice, but it's also great when people are like, hey, I'm listening to what you're doing, and it's helping me read these books.
Yeah.
Or giving me a new perspective on these books. That part's awesome. So here we are. I guess you guys are still listening.
Yeah, absolutely. So congratulations if you made it all the way from there to all the way here.
Yeah.
Okay.
What have you got for us for this last book episode of Knife of Dreams?
Okay, I was waiting for this one because it's a bit of a doozy. It's a little bit long.
Is it a downer?
It's not necessarily the most lighthearted and fun one that I've ever done.
Okay.
So, Knife of Dreams was published October 11th, 2005. So, on March 23rd, 2006, Robert Jordan publicly revealed his diagnosis in a letter that he wrote to Locus, which is the magazine of the fantasy sci-fi publishing field. And since today is the finale of Knife of Dreams, I thought now would be a time to read that for everyone.
Okay.
So, Robert Jordan said, Dear Locus, I have been diagnosed with amyloidosis. That is a rare blood disease which affects only 8 people out of 1 million each year. And those 8 per million are divided among 22 distinct forms of amyloidosis. They are distinct enough that while some have no treatment at all, for the others, the treatment that works on one will have no effect whatsoever on any of the rest. An amyloid is a misshapen or misfolded protein that can be produced by various parts of the body and which may deposit in other parts of the body, nerves or organs, with varying effects. As a small oddity, amyloids are associated with a wide list of diseases ranging from carpal tunnel syndrome to Alzheimer's. There's no current evidence or cause and effect, and none of these is considered any form of amyloidosis, but the amyloids are always there. So it is entirely possible that research on amyloids may one day lead to cures for Alzheimer's, and the Lord knows what else. I've offered to be a literary poster boy for the Mayo Amyloidosis Program, and the May PR department at least seems very interested. Plus, I've discovered a number of fans in various positions at the clinic, so maybe they'll help out. Now in my case, what I have is primary amyloidosis and cardiomyopathy. That means that only about 5% at present, of my bone marrow is producing amyloids which are depositing in the wall of my heart, causing it to thicken and stiffen. Untreated, it would eventually make my heart unable to function any longer, and I would have a median life expectancy of 1 year from diagnosis. Fortunately, I am set up for treatment, which expands my median life expectancy to 4 years. This does not mean I have 4 years to live. For those who've forgotten their freshman or pre-freshman, high school or junior high math, a median means half the numbers fall above that value and half fall below. It is not an average. In any case, I intend to live considerably longer than that. Everybody knows or has heard of someone who was told they have 5 years to live, only that was 20 years ago, and here that guy is, still around and kicking. I mean to beat him. I sat down and figured out how long it would take me to write all the books I currently have in my mind, without adding anything new and without trying to rush anything. The figure I came up with was 30 years. Now, I'm 57, so anyone my age, hoping for another 30 years, is asking for a fair bit, but I don't care. That is my minimum goal. I'm going to finish those books, all of them, and that is that. My treatment starts in about 2 weeks at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, where they have seen and treated more cases like mine than anywhere else in the US. Basically, it boils down to this. They will harvest a good quantity of my bone marrow stem cells from my blood. These aren't the stem cells that have Bush and Cheney in a swivet. They can only grow into bone marrow, and only into my bone marrow at that. Then will follow 2 days of intense chemotherapy to kill off all my bone marrow, since there is no way at present to target just the misbehaving 5%. Once this is done, they will reimplant my bone marrow stem cells to begin rebuilding my bone marrow and immune system, which will of course go south with the bone marrow. Depending on how long it takes me to recuperate sufficiently, 6 to 8 weeks after checking in, I can come home. I will have a 50-50 chance of some good result, 25% chance of remission, 25% chance of some reduction in amyloid production, a 35 to 40% chance of no result, and a 10 to 15% chance of fatality. Believe me, that's a hell of a lot better than staring down the barrel of a 1-year median. If I get less than full remission, my doctor already, she says, has several therapies in mind, though I suspect we will be heading into experimental territory. If that is where this takes me, however, so be it. I have 30 more years worth of books to write, even if I can keep from thinking of any more, and I don't intend to let this thing get in my way. Signed, Jim Rigney, Robert Jordan.
Okay, so if anybody was wondering what happened...
Yeah, that's like a full explanation.
Honestly, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. It really goes into a lot of detail.
Like, I knew it was like a heart thing, but wow, no, that's really interesting.
Now, unfortunately, Robert Jordan did pass away a year and a half later on September 16th, 2007. So, he was very optimistic throughout everything, and he did update a lot of people throughout the year and a half.
Yep.
But with the Mayo Clinic, that's why we've given to them in the past.
Yes. So, in the spirit of finishing Knife of Dreams, we are going to be donating $1 per every patron that we have at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. And at the time of recording, that is 301 patrons. And so we are going to be donating $301 to the Mayo Clinic in honor of Robert Jordan.
Yeah, and I think with that being said, it's time to finish Knife of Dreams.
Sounds good. Okay, so chapter 37 is, like you've already said, Prince of the Ravens. And the chapter symbol is the 5 dice.
Yeah.
And so we're ending pretty strong on this map perspective here.
Yes, we are. And it's really important that we did all that background stuff on what the heck was happening with Matt and KoD and all that. So hopefully it's all explained well enough.
I mean, like, it's okay.
Medium?
Medium at best. But honestly, as with any battle, especially one that Matt is the general of, the actual ins and outs of what's happening in the battle doesn't interest me as much as it should.
Oh, really? I love it so much.
I know you do, and I know so many people do, and I'm cool with it, and I'm like, yeah, this is neat.
Yeah.
But in the end, I'm like, Matt's gonna win, and how long is this gonna go on for until Matt wins?
Right.
That's my mindset while reading this.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And then it's like, is anything else gonna come of this after Matt wins? That's really what I'm reading for.
So you're probably happy that it puts so many detailed notes on like exactly what's happening.
I know. Like, sort of.
And why it's a good plan. And
I believe it's a good plan.
Totally. I mean, he's pretty good at it.
I take your word for it. I take Matt's word for it. Everybody's impressed by Matt.
Phew.
But I absolutely do not need to hear about men getting thrown from their horses and then getting trampled by horses.
What if I get all like our little Lego figurines and I create like a Lego
And then
display?
like
Yeah.
men being beheaded,
Right.
and then like all these horses dying.
Yeah.
It's all
Here's a question.
gosh.
Is it a beheading if your head blows up?
Yep.
Okay. Is it?
Because your head was be off from your body.
I would call it deheading. I don't.
Beheading.
There's got to be some sort of like
I'm
English
sure.
thing.
I'm sure there's
explanation.
something, but
I think we've actually maybe had this conversation before.
oh,
I think I might have
maybe.
looked it up and then maybe got flagged by the police for like, why are you looking up?
yeah, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful about that.
Yeah.
All right. So from Matt's perspective, we are picking up from where we left off. Tuon and KoD have left with the majority of the Death Watch guards and that whole group.
Yeah.
But Matt has a group here with some of the Death Watch guards so that he can lay a trap for the Sanchen soldiers.
Yeah.
Shan Chen soldiers.
By the seashore, right, exactly.
who are the ones who are hunting Tuon.
Yes.
And we are going to stop them from
Yes.
hunting Tuon.
Yes, exactly. You got it. Yeah, and it's a little bit confusing because the chapter starts by saying Matt's waiting for Vannon and the Death Watch guards to come back, but in reality, like he's just waiting for literally 2 human and 2 Ogier Death Watch guards who are scout and like luring. They're luring the troops here. So the majority of the Death Watch guards that Matt asked for are still here
They're
with
here.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some are gone with Tuon, some are gone with Vannon, and some are here.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to go and be like, doop, 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 doop. Here we are.
Oh no, they've found us.
Shoot.
They run away.
Ah.
It's an old luring
and it worked.
trick.
It
yeah.
worked.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
All right. Now, we do definitely have a lot of tension happening in this group.
Yes. Yeah.
So we have Aes Sedai, who absolutely do not want to be working with Seanchan.
Yeah.
We have Aludra, who absolutely does not want to be working with Seanchan. And then we have Seanchan, who absolutely do not want to be working with Aes Sedai.
Yeah, and we've got former Seanchan, like Lylewyn, who doesn't want to be working with anyone former
Anybody?
or present or current.
Yeah.
Yeah,
mhm.
Damon's like, make sure Aludra doesn't do anything
Yeah,
stupid.
and then we have like Bethamin and Seta, who like kind of want to be channeling here, and then
Yeah.
they're told that they're not allowed to
Not
be
allowed
channeling.
to.
So
Yeah, Jolene's just being a piece of work because she's still shocked that Mylan, the former Aes
Oh,
Sedai,
yeah.
like willingly went with Tuon, and
yeah,
she doesn't understand it still. So
yeah,
it's just like it's all pretty bad.
yeah.
But I love there's like a tiny little side plot happening right here about Oliver.
Oh, about how he's getting good at stuff?
Yeah,
Or how
so-
people are training him?
Yeah, Oliver, he's like super eager to learn fighting, and he's learning how to fight with sorts of weapons and hands and feet and everybody from the band. And this, I feel, it's like one of those little side plots that would really pour fuel on the fire of, is Oliver Geidel Kane reborn? Well, because it's
Even
like...
though you very specifically told me that he is not.
Yes, but in the community for like a long time, it was one of those things. Like even when we got confirmation, no, it's still like, but is he though?
Yeah.
Because like he's got a perfect backstory. He's got a perfect kickstart to the adventuring life. His parents were
he's
killed by
super
Shido.
ugly.
He's super ugly, so there's that. But he wants to lead a grand life like in the stories, and he's got like literally
Maybe he's a different hero.
Well, I know, but
Maybe
that's
he doesn't
yeah,
have to be born
doesn't have
super
to be.
ugly. Just to be.
Yeah.
Other heroes can be ugly too, Brett.
People will like him for his feats of glory, not for his
Unless you're Brigitte.
Right, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. But anyway, so that is happening in the background here, and Matt just hates that all the bad influences are like taking care of him. I kind of like it though. I
Yeah.
like it.
All right, we also have a moment for Matt to reflect on the fact that now he's married.
He is, that's right.
He
And
is married.
It's
And
also
he's like,
funny.
oh my gosh, I guess that means no more hooking up with ladies, but
Yeah.
I can still dance with them sometimes.
yeah, and he's like,
Yeah.
oh, if Tuon thinks that I'm going to give up gambling, I don't think
She's
so,
got
lady.
another thing coming.
But also, let's be realistic here. When was the last time? Well, okay, maybe I should back up a little bit.
Nah, Matt Gamble still.
No, he still gambles, but like he doesn't really hook up with a lot of ladies, just like some.
He's been very busy lately.
He has been. He has been. I mean, there was
He's been
Aludra.
preoccupied.
Yeah.
Well, he did make out with Aludra.
He did, but that was also
Yeah.
like because of the whole Thailand situation. He was looking
That
to
was
escape.
weird. Yeah.
That was, and that wasn't his fault, but you know.
Yeah.
But before that, like he was,
Before that, he was having fun. He was
Yeah.
having a good time all over the place.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
He hasn't had a chance. And now he's probably thinking about, now he's going to be kind of on the road again with an army.
Right.
Probably stopping in at taverns and inns and all sorts of stuff. And he's probably thinking, well, now I'm less tied down. I'm back to my having fun ways.
Yeah, well, not anymore.
Except now married.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah.
Jeez, poor guy.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. But here's the part that he really doesn't understand is how marrying him is going to serve the empire, because she was like, hey, political
the prophecy,
marriage.
whatever,
Yeah.
said, I'm going to marry to serve the empire.
Well, that's literally what she would do anyways. That's what Tuon is going to do.
Yeah.
She's always going to marry to serve the
But
empire.
how does marrying me, Matt from the Two Rivers?
Yeah, little old me. It's like,
Yeah.
Matt, like, you know you're Tavira, number one.
Uh-huh.
Number two, you're like BFFs with the Dragon Reborn.
Yeah.
Like, these things. This isn't a surprise.
Yeah. Got
That's
lots
why.
of things.
That's why the end of the chapter is so funny.
He's
it's
like,
so funny.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into that, because so this captain guy, Musenji,
Captain Musenji. This is
I know,
Khareed's
just the name is weird.
guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's pronounced Musenage.
that can't be right.
No, it looks like it should be pronounced that way.
I'm gonna go with what I said.
Musenji.
Yeah.
Okay, so he comes over to Matt, and this is one of the Death Watch guards.
Yeah, he's the head Death Watch guard guy,
Here,
basically
that's
left here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he says, "Forgiveness, Highness."
Right.
And he keeps calling Matt Highness.
Yeah.
And Matt has a thought in the back of his head about how this must be what Shanchens call nobles.
Yes, like a
Even
word for
though
lord.
I've been around a lot of Shanchen
Yeah.
in Ebudar, and I've never heard them use
Not
this
even
before,
one time. Yeah,
But that must be what this
it's got to
is.
be. It's the only thing that makes sense.
It literally doesn't make any sense, though. But that's fine.
No, makes sense later.
All
but,
right.
you know.
Anyway, so this guy, Musenji, is a little concerned with what he's seeing
Right.
from Matt's great army.
Yes.
Because they're playing checkers, they're reading books, they're
Well-
having nap time, their wall is half built.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
They're on like basically like a water break. They're on a break that's extended way too far right now, and he should have probably come to Matt beforehand, but didn't. And Matt's like, "Oh, he waited way too long to even come and talk to me about this." But they've
That's
built.
part of the plan.
It's part of the plan. It's a secret plan.
Yeah. It's a good plan, man.
It's a good plan, yeah. But that's the whole thing. But Matt didn't tell him that
No.
part of the secret plan. So he's like got half his wall built that the guys did really fast, because you got to
Because they're good.
You got to use
Yep.
that shovel. Got to use that shovel.
Yep.
I had to look up a word though.
Ooh, which one?
The mattock,
Okay.
because Matt thinks infantry has to be handy with a shovel, a mattock, and an axe.
Ooh.
And I was like, I don't know what that is. A mattock is basically it's a pickaxe.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're like digging up dirt and
Halfway
rock.
between a shovel and a
Yeah,
axe.
yeah,
Got
exactly.
it. We got it. Cool.
I get it, man. Because
Yeah.
you got to be able to build walls.
Yes.
Because building walls
I think
means
of like old timey miners.
yeah, literally that. Yeah. Okay.
Mattocks.
Okay.
'Kay.
Anyways, so
He's
they
like,
yeah.
Shouldn't your guys be
Some are
doing more?
literally sleeping, like
Yeah.
they're napping. They're
Because
actually
you nap
napping.
when you can.
You got to,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyways, nope. And here's the craziest thing: some of them are even. Did you?
Reading. I already told you that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, I got excited about the mattock thing.
Yeah, no. I said some are reading.
Okay.
But yeah, so Matt explains that this is all part of his sneaky plan because he wants the opposing force to rush in,
Yeah.
thinking that they're not ready for them.
Yeah.
And then turns out we're
ready
ready
for them.
for
Yeah.
them.
If anyone needs like a visualization, I just imagine like it's like hallway, and at one of the end of the hallway is where they're going to be coming from.
Yep.
There's 2 miles of meadow, and then there's Matt's half-built wall and trench that they're looking like, oh no, we didn't finish it in time. Oh no, run away.
Yeah.
And then there's like a river on one side and a lake on the other or whatever. So basically the enemy has to come down the hallway, and that's where the trap closes on them.
Yeah, good. So now Matt is going to be like, hey, when this Shanchen group arrives, I don't want them stopping to count how many Death Watch guards are actually here. I
Yeah.
want them to see, oh, we're not ready.
Yeah, like, oh, we've got the drop on them and we can rush in and kill them and claim that
Take them by
100,000
surprise.
crown reward.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
100,000 gold crown reward for killing Tuon.
Exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. Because we only have like a dozen Death Watch guards, when in reality there should
There
be
should
more.
be lots more.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and they won't know that this is a trap until it's too
Yeah.
late, hopefully.
Okay, so then Musenji is like, oh, I certainly wish that you had more soldiers because I know for a fact
Right.
that you have around 30,000 soldiers.
Right.
Because of all the crossbows you're able to fire all the time.
Right. Yeah, he knows there's more. And he's like, where are they?
Yeah.
Where are they? They're not here. Where
and
are
Matt's
they?
like, well, I have fewer than I did before, but it'll be enough. And he thinks, I don't want to give this Shanshan guy
he doesn't.
any more information than I need to.
Yeah, yeah. Like the we actually get casualty numbers here too, because there's a whole like ghost thing where it's like, oh, what are we fighting? Spirits? Because there's no dead people, because Matt's guys would bury the dead before they'd move on.
Right, yeah.
So he's lost about 400 crossbowmen and about 500 cavalry, which in the scheme of things, remarkably low considering how many Shanshan he's killed.
Small butcher's bill, he says.
Yeah, but it's still not fun to pay it, but
right.
Good for them.
Okay, now...
Yeah.
Yusenji doesn't even really care. He's like, okay, what are we going to do at this point? I'm ready to die for her anyway.
It's more like, yeah, I don't think your plan's going to work.
Yeah.
I'm ready to die for her, because I think that he's thinking that, oh man, like we're for sure dying here. This is not.
Yeah.
This is not enough people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And Matt says, me too.
Yeah.
I will also die for her. And
Wow.
he's surprised by that.
He is.
He's always surprised by things he says.
But that also goes against his like number one rule, which is don't die.
Don't die.
Don't die.
Well, yeah, because at one point here, Yusenji's like, okay, well, are you going to go get in your armor
Yeah,
now?
that's also hilarious.
And Matt's like,
no.
Oh, heck no.
No, I'm not fighting.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no. I stand back here.
Yeah.
I am the general.
But then at
What
one
the
point in
heck
the
am I
battle, he almost takes like 3 arrows and he's like, oh, maybe I should wear armor.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, man, you should wear armor.
Yeah. But that's the whole thing that KoD was talking about last time.
Yeah.
Where he's not an idiot who's looking to prove his bravery.
He's like, oh no, I'm not going to go and win an award for bravery by
and he thinks
fighting.
that the guy is quite impressed by him.
Yeah, okay.
So, okay.
That's good.
All right, now this conversation is going to get interrupted because we see Vannon and that party coming back.
Do you know what? This is actually also, there's so many hilarious points in this chapter that I just like want to point out.
Okay.
So at the far end of the hallway of the meadow, Vannon and 2 human Deathwatch guards and 2 of the Ogier Deathwatch guards. Ogier, you know the sizes of them, they're pretty huge.
Absolutely.
And Matt thinks, oh man, I know that's Vannon because of how huge Vannon is on the horse.
Well, just how he looks on a horse.
And it's like, even if the Ogier, and there's like no Ogier literally anywhere else around in the world, man. It's like, but you're still pointing out Vannon and his big butt on the horse. Like Matt,
he doesn't look like a dude who should be good at a horse, and he is. He's good at a horse.
I don't need my looking glass for this one.
Yeah, that guy's good at a horse,
Matt.
and he doesn't look like he should be.
Yeah.
Like, okay. It's like the running gag.
I know, it is.
Okay, but this is where Matt starts shouting for everyone to pick up their shovels, and it's like, look like you're scrambling.
Yeah.
Right?
Wake up. They are literally, it's got to look perfect.
It is go time, but it's like, we got to look like, oh no, we're not ready for the enemy to show up.
Yeah. Well, it's also, they got to clear 2 miles of the meadow, so we have a few minutes.
Right.
We do have some time, but not much.
All right, so now everybody's going to get into place. Vannon and that group makes it behind the wall.
Yeah.
And then Vannon reports that the enemy saw the Deathwatch guard armor and is coming in, and it's working. They're going, and Vannon, in this whole chapter, Matt thinks about how much he likes horses and how he sympathizes with horses and how he's really mad at the Shanshans who are going to ride their horses too hard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, buddy, just wait. Way worse things are going to happen to those horses.
Yeah, no, we know.
Ridden a little too hard.
We're going to feel bad about it, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's the horses are innocent in all this. Like, come on. Jeez. Okay. Except for those horses that let Fades ride them. I'm pretty sure those horses are evil.
Oh, those are evil horses.
Yeah,
they gotta be.
You have to be.
They have to be, because normal, good horses...
Yeah, I don't believe
good boy horses are gonna be spooked.
Yeah. They're horses that would, like, I don't know, like, kick you or something. Even if you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Gonna bite your hand when they're trying to take an apple out of your hand or something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Absolutely that guy.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Anyways, we also have to talk about the fact that there's, like, a little explanation that there are some slingers in this group too, that's like getting ready. What's a slinger? A slinger. So like
a literal slingshot.
Not like a Dennis the Menace style slingshot, if that's what you're thinking. Like a sling, like the leather cord you
What's
whip
that
it.
track and field?
Shot put? Not so much that either. But with
Okay.
this one, it kind of explains like they have like a staff, and then
There
you would
is one though. Like, what does the trunch bowl in Matilda do?
I've never seen
That's
Matilda.
like you swing a thing around and let it go.
Oh, the spinny thingy. That's
Yes.
not. I know what you're talking about. Like in the Olympics.
Oh, now
like
I
Summer
gotta look it
Olympics.
up.
Okay, the twist and twirl one.
Yeah. Okay, it's hammer throw.
Right. It's I saw the picture. That is
Yeah.
the twisty twirly
Yeah.
one.
Whoa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The spinny go round.
Yeah.
Okay. So none of those explain what's happening here. But anyways,
Okay,
Eludra
so-
has these like little cylinders that they're going to be twirling and then launching. Almost like lacrosse. I feel like I'm going to get a little bit of shit for that one. But, you know, okay.
I bet they do not,
Not
have
even
a
at
net
all,
on a
but-
stick to throw it.
No,
though.
it's not, though.
Although
It's like-
that would be probably effective.
Yeah, so it's not at all like that. I'm
Okay.
just going to retract that statement. Anyways,
Okay.
it doesn't matter. They're launching the little cylinders, and Eludra's going by and like lighting her little matches.
Herself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you can't trust people, which is fair.
You know what? Me too, man.
Yeah.
Me too.
And then
I
they're going to light those, and we're going to see those later. So I just love the tiny little battle. It's great. I love it. I love Eludra.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
She's good.
Okay.
And Matt was like, I wish I could have convinced her to stay back with like Tom and the rest of them. But nope.
Nope, not doing it.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Anyways, so Vanna makes it back. That's where we were talking. They're safe now. They're all mad about the horses.
I'm still thinking about how I really wanted to make a swingers joke when you were talking about slingers. You're like, you don't know
Oh.
what slingers are? And then I was going to be like, I don't know. Do they change sexual partners?
No,
No. Okay.
no
Sorry,
audience for
I had
that
to
here.
get it out.
Okay. Oh, also, Hartha was one of the gardeners who was with Vannon. Hartha, the first gardener.
I remember.
Yeah, you know him. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. Now, there's actually a book correction in the next little segment here.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. So Matt rides over to the Aes Sedai. Jolene is being a piece of work because she's scolding the Suldam like, you better not channel.
Well, because Matt is like, I'm gonna need you to channel probably. And then Jolene's like, probably not.
Yeah.
I have to feel like I'm in danger. And
It's
like,
gonna
what
get-
are you even doing here then?
It's going to get worse before
Like,
it
what
gets
are you even
worse.
doing here?
Yeah.
And then Bethaman and Seta
Seta.
are like, we could do it.
Yeah.
We don't have any stupid dumb oaths.
And Jolene's like,
And Josie's
don't do it.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heck no.
Okay.
Definitely never not.
So, here's the book correction. Jolene has the warders, Blarick and Fen.
Yeah.
And in the book originally, the line said, when Matt's looking at him, Matt thinks about telling Fen that his stub of a top knot looks ridiculous because it's growing back because he had to cut it off when they were in Abu Dar to disguise themselves because you can't be like with a top knot
okay.
because obviously you're not from here.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
But here's the thing. Fen is Saldean. They don't do top knots in Saldea. Right?
Mm.
Blarick is the one who's from Shinar, and he's
Where
the one
they
who would
do
have the
top
top knots.
knots.
So now it had to be fixed to Matt thinks about telling
Of
Blarick
course.
that his stupid top knot growing back looks stupid.
I can't believe something like that would be overlooked.
I know. How do you miss that?
That is-
Oh my goodness.
Just a glaring mistake.
Yeah. We're talking plot holes. Boom, plot hole.
Huge.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
So Jolene, she's a ward. She's an Aes Sedai, right?
I
So they have
honestly
orders.
barely know who that is, other than the song.
Yeah.
That's what, like, that's how I know who she is. That's about
Okay. It's fine. It's
Okay.
fine. Anyways, no time for any of that now.
it. Okay, let's go.
The enemy's here.
Okay, but just joking, we're not going to go quite yet. We're going to take a quick break before we get into the action, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Alrighty, so we are back, and we are going to get into this battle.
Yeah, that you care about. Lots.
You know, I care about it.
Yeah, just not the details.
Not every detail
Sure.
of like who's on the west and who's in the square and
Nobody's on the west or something.
no, there's
It's-
definitely people
It's
on the west.
East and west or like whatever, you
There's
know.
definitely people on the west when you
Either
form a
end.
square. There's people on every side when you form a square.
Ooh, good point. Okay.
That's what a square is.
Wow.
Four
Okay. Yeah.
sides.
Okay. All right. Foot in my mouth. Jeez.
Okay, so Matt's gonna call out to make sure Eludra's ready, and of course she's good. We start seeing the enemy horses coming in.
Yeah, it's not super exciting because RJ does the realism thing. They're literally 2 miles away across the meadow, so they're not like riding hard yet. They're trotting, and then eventually they start to like gallop, but not really hard because they have to make it 2 more miles.
Right.
It was kind of like the whole Elaine rescue when it's like, oh, charge, but like we didn't even get up to the.
And like
Yeah.
half of the soldiers didn't even make it out of the gateway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like very realistic in the battle charging. So
Yeah. And I just had a realization that this is the last, like, Robert Jordan battle scene
Yeah.
that we'll read. So I'm gonna take all of it in.
Yeah. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Okay. Appreciate the realism.
appreciate
Yeah.
The Robert Jordan realism.
Yes.
For now.
So they are not charging yet.
Yep.
Their lances are all up because you obviously wouldn't lower your lance yet. That would be crazy.
Uh-huh.
So anyways.
That's when Matt shouts to Aludra and she launches a firework.
Yeah. Because boom, and the enemy horsemen are like, whoa, or at least some of them are.
Right.
But it's a distraction,
And
see?
none of them see Talmanis and the other part of the plan. The
Yes.
other part.
Other part, yeah.
We got so many parts of the plan. That's why
Yeah.
that's the best.
Here we go.
Because
Okay.
of all the other parts.
So what's happening now is we've got Matt and his disorganized group of people who built a half a wall on one end. So the enemy's coming forward.
Yep.
And then Talmanis and about 4,000 cavalry are being sneaky sneaks and coming in from behind now.
Mm-hmm.
But see, they don't have their lances. No.
No.
They have their bows.
Oh, yeah. Okay. From horseback.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're going to come from behind whilst Matt is shooting from the front. They're going to shoot them from both sides.
Right. And then we're really going to get to see those crank, crossbow.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's more like a box that it's the crank. Yeah.
No, what's it
Clickety,
called?
clickety,
The
click,
thing
click,
that
click.
launches crossbows.
Well, that's a crossbow and it launches bolts. So so you don't typically throw your crossbow.
Uh-huh. No,
Yeah.
I understand that. Okay,
Because
so,
then you wouldn't have it
I'm
anymore.
saying
Yeah.
crank, crossbows. And that's right. That's correct.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, it is. Yep. Okay, I'm right.
imagine the
Good.
crossbow like the gun and the bolt like the bullet.
No, I get it now.
Okay.
I get it. I just didn't want to be sounding stupid over here. Like, oh, they're cranking the crossbow.
Yeah.
And then someone's like, that's the arrow. And I'm like, oh, no, I just wanted to make sure. I'm just checking myself for a second.
Okay. Now, we actually forgot to mention it, and we usually actually do mention it at the beginning of the episode, but we started tonight with margarita taco night. So,
Enchiladas.
enchiladas, but we okay, there's been tequila
it was
already
Mexican
tonight
night.
before
Mhm.
recording, so
Yeah.
maybe that explains the
It doesn't explain
throwing
anything.
your crossbow.
It doesn't explain anything.
I don't know. Okay. Anyways, so things are going well so far. They're going okay. They're going okay for Matt's people.
I didn't say throwing the crossbow.
It sounded like you're like, how do I launch my crossbow? I don't know.
No, I said cranking the cross bolt.
Yeah,
That's what I called it initially.
right, okay.
But now I know.
You're really just cranking the string back.
I get it.
Okay, anyways.
I understand. We can move on.
Yeah. And anyways, so Aludra's over here being like, I wish I had my dragons. And Matt's like, hey, shut up about it because we don't want the Shanshan to know the secret stuff we
Go
have.
ahead and shut up about it.
Exactly.
Seriously, Aludra.
Anyway, so people start firing bolts and arrows and horses are dying. And this is when it gets really bad for the horses and for the people. The enemy. Yeah.
But what I really wanted to say about the crossbows is that we have 3 lines of people who are shooting crossbows.
Yeah.
And by the time, so the first line shoots,
Yeah.
the second line shoots, the third line shoots, and by that time, the first line is cranked and ready to go again.
Yeah.
Shoot, right? And so that is just mind-blowing
Yes.
to everybody who has any knowledge of crossbows.
Yeah.
And turns out I have like literally 0 knowledge of crossbows. But everybody on this battlefield is like, what the heck is going on?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's why Musenji was like, oh man, I know you have 30,000 crossbowmen
Yeah.
because this isn't possible.
Uh-huh.
And to be fair, it wasn't. But, okay. Until...
Nothing is possible until it is.
Wow. Love it. Okay.
See? I
All
can
right.
be so
I'm pretty sure...
positive. I'm so positive. all
It's
the
so
time
unlike
about
you.
life.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Little ray of sunshine over here. That's what they call me.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's get at the battle a little bit more. So now Matt's army's firing into the enemy, and now the enemy starts firing back a little bit, but they don't have any special crossbows or stuff.
No,
So
it's basically just a slaughter
yeah,
of those people riding in, but they're Shanshan
yeah.
or
Well, this is
fighting
the thing.
for the Shanshan.
They're not. There's literally one Shanshan dude. That's the problem right now too. There's only one actual native Shanshan guy.
How do you know that? Out of the whole force that's riding in?
Yeah, they figured there's like basically probably one. There's like very few. Its majority is just like recruited soldiers from
How many
Randland.
people are running in here?
I
Do
think
we have any clue?
the number was 10,000. I don't know. There was a lot.
Yeah.
Crazy number.
Okay.
Big
and
number.
literally one is Shanshan? Like,
Yeah,
what are you
'cause-
talking about?
I think that's what they said.
Oh.
I don't know, but it's very few. It might not be literally one. There's
Yeah.
literally one that's important, and we'll talk about them later.
Well,
but,
yeah, obviously.
But it's very few. Its majority is just recruited soldiers.
Okay, well, at the same time, don't fight for the Shanshan. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I get that too. Okay, anyways. So, now in the battle, this is when Matt's like, hey, Jolene and the other Aes Sedai,
You
how
could
about
help.
helping?
You certainly could help out. This reminds me a heck of a lot of Brigida
Yeah.
and the Seafolk Windfinder, who didn't want to get involved,
Yeah.
didn't want to channel to help out, and Brigida eventually was like, okay, but like, do it maybe?
Yeah.
And then eventually they did.
Right.
And so that's kind of like this situation where they're like, well, we shouldn't really get involved, and
I don't feel in
I
danger.
don't feel in danger
Yeah.
yet.
Even Tesla nods, and she's like, yeah, not in danger.
Yeah.
It's like, guys.
Yeah. But it's like the whole 3-0 thing, because they have to actually convince themselves
Yeah.
that they're in danger to
Which-
be able.
I just feel like if you tried a little
What a
harder, you could
loophole.
convince yourself.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, if all these guys die because they're severely outnumbered, that's kind of the entire thing Matt is
Well,
in
and
right
Matt's
now.
like, there you don't feel in danger. I feel in danger.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, well, then
Anyways.
maybe put on some armor, Matt.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
this is at this point, like, there's like a couple arrows that come really close to Matt, and this is where
Yeah.
he's like, oh man, maybe I should. He's lucky though, it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, he's got that thing going on.
He does.
Anyways, now it's square time. I know you're excited about this part.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So now this is where we form up a hollow box with Matt at the center.
Roughly the shape of a square.
Roughly the shape of a square. And this is all playing into the illusion that Tuon is in fact here, and it's as if they're forming up to surround Tuon. So he's trying to lure them in more, being like, oh yeah, she's for sure in the middle of that square.
Keep coming.
There you
keep
go.
on
Come on, come
coming.
on. Yes.
But then, no, Tuon's not here.
She's not here, yeah.
But
it's a
what
trick.
is here is a bunch of like explosives we're gonna throw at you.
Yeah, like little shrapnel bombs. So Eludra, these little cylinders with the fuses, the explosion that they create isn't the actual weapon, even though if they hit you in the head, your head's going to blow up.
Which happens.
Which happens, and we see that.
Yeah, but she packed it with pebbles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, boom, then the pebbles go everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's when more horses are dying.
Oh,
Oh, man. Okay.
that's sad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
No horses were injured in the writing of this story.
Well, we don't know that for sure.
No.
Who's to say?
Oh.
Probably not.
Only fictitious horses.
Yeah, a lot
at
of
this point.
imaginary casualties, but no real
Oh,
casualties.
phew, actually.
All
Okay.
right.
Now, finally, Jolene licks her finger, holds it up in the air,
It's like,
and goes,
mm.
actually, yes. Now I feel like I'm in danger.
Exactly, there we go.
Hmm.
Fireball, fireball,
Okay,
fireball.
yeah, and then Tesla also starts
Yeah.
throwing fireballs.
It's like perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
anytime now. So anyways, now
the battle's
hey,
over.
we did it. Hooray.
We killed everyone, and no one tried to run away.
Yeah, we do actually get like at some point Talmanis like calls over because there's a whole wall of bodies that is built up because
and they have to start dragging the horses away.
yeah, because there's literally too many bodies here.
to
So
climb over. Yeah.
yeah, Talmanis is like, yeah, none of the fools even tried to escape because the money for getting Tuon's head, it's a lot of money. Okay, and then Hartha and the gardeners just start climbing over all the dead bodies because they want to go find.
They're like, we
traitor.
gotta find the traitor.
Exactly.
We gotta do it.
So and that's kind of like pointing to like the one main Shanshan guy here. So, anyways, that's the guy. We don't know him yet.
Nope.
We'll know him later.
Yeah.
But not right now.
Yeah. And then this is where Jolene has something to say.
Yeah.
And I
again.
want to punch her nose.
Oh, I know. Seriously.
Right in the nose.
Yeah.
I want her eyes to water.
Oh, okay.
And maybe her nose to bleed. That's what I want. She's
Yeah.
so annoying.
She is. She's kind of like the
She annoys
worst.
the crap out of me. She's like, Matt, you owe us a debt because I said I don't become involved in private wars, and I'll have to think about how you can pay this.
Yeah.
And it's like, you actually didn't have to come here.
Yeah.
You didn't have to get involved here. This was your personal choice. And at the beginning, if you wanted to make a deal with Matt, like, I'll come get involved in your personal war.
Yeah.
if you do this, this, and this for me, like, maybe I could respect that a little bit.
Oh, there's a whole lot of things. It's like, number
But,
one,
like,
Matt rescued you from
at-
Abu Dar from the
At
Shanshan.
the end of doing it, actually, now you owe me.
Right.
No, nobody owes you anything.
Yeah.
Idiot.
It's like, literally, without Matt, you'd be in Abu Dar still.
Seriously.
You would be for sure captive.
Yes.
Like, and then he's still trying to get you out of this territory because you wouldn't be able to sneak past and get to Tarvalin.
Was Jolene the one who actually was captured?
She wasn't. She was the one who wasn't. That's the issue.
That's the issue.
That's the
with
issue.
Jolene.
Yeah.
I remember now.
Jolene is the green who had warders, therefore
Yes.
wasn't captured.
And Jolene is also on my suspicious list.
For what?
Because, hold on, let me check. I wrote it down.
Oh man, okay.
Okay, all I wrote was, Jolene, try to bond Matt. Watch out.
Oh yeah, but that's just like regular suspicious.
No, but somebody said that to Matt. And I was like, oh no.
Okay.
And now it's like, oh, you owe me a debt? And she's going to like try to bond Matt or something?
Well, hey, good luck with that.
Well, it depends if she believes in consent.
Well, he has a magical amulet.
I know.
Yeah.
That's true for now.
Yeah. What do you mean for now?
Well, things can be like cut off your neck while you're sleeping. It's just on a leather cord.
Oh, I guess that's true. Okay. Yeah, no, that's a fair point. I was going to say, like,
legit...
is Matt ever going to part with this willingly? Like,
no, but we can use not magic to get it away from him.
That's true. He actually had a thought at one point, like, oh man, maybe the warders might just beat me up. And
right.
Yeah, he did think that.
Because, like,
that could happen.
Yeah, like a warder can physically take it off him.
Right.
Yep. It's just whether or not the pattern's going to let that happen, right?
Exactly.
That's the thing about
does the pattern
Ta'Veren.
Does the pattern want it?
The pattern.
It's like, maybe. Who came up with that stupid line?
This entire book series. God, based on this entire concept.
Yeah, it's like the author wants us to go down a journey with him.
Gosh.
Shut up and put your story already. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I can't stand your major plot point. That's the only thing that really matters.
I don't want details. I want basic, broad overview. That's all I want. Okay.
No, we want the details.
Okay, here we go.
We are so here for the detail. We wouldn't be here at the end of book 11 if we weren't here for every detail.
That's true. Okay.
We are here for every
Let's
detail.
finish this chapter
anyway,
with the details
Jolene,
then.
Suspicious.
Yeah. So, Musanji does speak up. Like, I appreciate this. And he's like, excuse me, Marathamani. It's not you. It was the crossbows that did this today.
Okay, but also, like, they helped.
If there were
Way
no
too
Aes
late.
Sedai, Matt still would have won. Doesn't matter.
Just
Doesn't
a
matter.
little later in the day.
Would have had a few more deaths for sure. A few
Yeah.
more casualties.
And if they had stepped in and started helping earlier,
Way
like
fewer.
maybe.
Yeah, at the beginning.
Exactly.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
Maybe no casualties.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyways,
but you know those oaths.
They personally didn't feel enough in danger.
Stupid. Okay.
The worst.
So
the worst.
This is where Captain Musenji turns to Matt and is like, "You never had any more than this, did you?
You don't have 30,000 crossbowmen, do you?
What?
Ah.
Except he calls him Highness again.
He does.
Yeah. And Matt's like, "I told you, I have enough.
Yeah.
Relax about it.
Yeah.
Stop asking so many
Got like
questions."
50 guys. It's fine.
And then we get Hartha, the Ogier Gardener.
The first gardener.
Yeah.
Yep.
Coming back with a head.
Yes, he does.
He has a severed head, and he says, "I found the traitor."
Yeah, and we still don't know who it is.
No.
Musenji does.
Yeah, and he's very
Yeah.
surprised by who it is, and he says, "She will be very interested to see this, and we must carry it to her."
Yeah.
Yeah, bring that head.
So it's good. Let's bring the traitor head. Okay, there we go. All right.
Now, they don't explain to Matt about any of this.
Yeah, it's pretty clear though. Like he knows that they know who this guy is.
Yep.
But Matt doesn't
And
ask.
Tuan
They don't
should know,
tell. Yeah.
And Matt's like, "I don't actually care."
Yeah. I just want to go.
Yeah. Finally, Matt is like, "Hey, listen, everyone, quit it with the Highness.
Yeah.
You can just call me Matt."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh,
I could never.
I could never
do that.
That would shame me. I'd have to gouge my own eyes out with a rusty pencil."
Probably something like
Because
that.
that's how shamed I'd be.
Here's the thing. I couldn't do that, Highness, because when she married you, you became Prince of the Ravens.
Prince of the Ravens. I keep on wanting to say the Prince of Ravens. That's what my brain does.
No, see, he doesn't command ravens.
That would be cool, though.
It'd be medium.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, okay.
Ravens are so smart.
Yeah, they are. Okay.
Smart birds. I hate birds. Don't want them anywhere near me. They're really scary. I've seen a couple ravens in real life, like, too close to me, and they are big and really could hurt me if they wanted to.
Yeah, they are. The ones we have here, too, I feel are
They're
bigger than normal.
big.
Yeah.
Really big.
Well, we also have oversized, like, jackrabbits. Like, we have big...
yeah. Why? Why are they so big here?
I think the ravens and crows are big to be able to hunt the bigger rabbits. It's a...
Oh, actually?
No, I have no idea. I don't know enough about
that sounded so smart.
ravens or jackrabbits.
I really believed you, actually, because I'd never seen ravens that big until I moved here.
Yeah.
And I've never seen rabbits
Me
this
neither.
big until I moved here.
Huge.
Yeah.
Humongous.
Like, different from even other prairie cities in the same country.
Yeah. It's like,
Just
I remember
listen.
growing up, you see little bunnies, and you're like, oh, cute
Bunny
little snow bunny.
bunnies, yeah.
And here it's like, oh man, that thing's going to attack me.
That rabbit
And
is like
would
a
win.
kangaroo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will win. Don't let your dog near it. It will kill
They're
your
huge.
dog.
But
yeah.
that actually kind of makes sense, and I wonder if you're right.
Maybe. Anyways,
Although,
so
do you think ravens are...
do they hunt rabbit?
Do
I
they
have no.
hunt rabbit?
I already said I don't know enough about either animal.
Huh.
Okay.
How about that?
So Matt
Okay.
is Prince of the Ravens.
Right. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And nobody can say his name.
Yeah.
That's where the
Okay.
whole highness thing comes from.
And then Matt takes off his hat, and he's like, I don't like nobles.
Oh, I hate them so much.
I don't want to be one, and now I am one.
I'm a noble officially, but it's also
Yeah.
like, Matt, literally, this has been like a you thing. Everybody thinks you're a noble.
Well, everyone thinks you're at least a lord. Is that the same thing as being a noble? I feel
Basically,
like a noble's like a step up from a lord.
it's not different, but it's not it's the same. It doesn't matter.
And this is like worse, except, here's the thing, only among the Shanchen,
yeah.
right? You know, because with his army, he's like the battle general, and
Sure.
he's Lord Matt, which he's like sort of accepted, kind of in the same way that Perrin's a little bit accepted, Lord Perrin,
Yeah.
or Lord Goldeneyes, whatever.
Kind of in the same way that Matt's like, I hate lords, but I like a little bit of lace and staying in nice
And,
places
yeah,
and
like
eating
money.
nice food and
Like,
drinking
it's
nice
fine.
wine and
That's all fine.
having multiple manservants.
Multiple manservants. But don't call me Lord.
Yeah.
Right. However, this whole highness business is
Right.
strictly among the Shanchen.
Sure.
Like,
yes.
nobody in his army is going to start calling him highness, right?
No, that wouldn't make any sense.
Exactly.
No. Yeah.
So he's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
He's only, like,
Yeah.
super high,
I get what
noble-
you're saying
yeah.
now. Yeah. Like his
Like,
guys.
as he continues his journey here,
Yeah.
to go
He'll be Lord
hopefully
Matt still.
rescue Moraine. I hope that that's our trajectory at this point, because, like, what the heck is happening?
Yeah.
Let's go
Okay.
do that.
Next on the list.
I sure hope so.
Once we get out of here, then like definitely the next thing we're doing.
Right next.
No other distractions.
Nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing.
Yeah.
What could there possibly be to
Oh yeah,
distract
we're
us at
talking
this
like
point?
prologue of the next book. Like, let's
Okay,
go.
But I also did say there's going to be a boys' meeting. I do want
Yeah.
that to happen.
Slumber party.
But maybe after we rescue Moraine.
Okay.
Maybe Moraine's like, okay, what the hell's happened? After we rescue her, she'll
Yeah.
be like, catch me up to speed on the last 7 books.
Sure. Wait, is Moraine invited to this slumber party?
No, but she's gonna like help orchestrate it probably. She's
Oh.
like, hey, remember that you guys
She'll be
were-
the cool mom who brings in the cookies and
Is
milk.
that- yeah. Not like a
Hey
regular
guys.
mom.
Do you
Not
need
like a
anything?
regular Aes Sedai. I'm a cool Aes Sedai.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that is technically the end of this book,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
right?
No. Well, no. There's the epilogue.
I know that. I know. The
Epilogue
end-
is still part of this book.
The end of the chapters. I picture an epilogue being the scene after the credits.
Oh, bonus scene.
That's what I always picture an epilogue to be.
You know, that actually makes a lot of sense.
And so I think that's why I am more okay with epilogues than I am with prologues.
Well, then prologue would be like the cold open.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
And that's why I don't like when there's main characters doing main character things
Oh,
in
yeah.
the prologue.
That makes sense.
And I'm like,
it's supposed to be unrelated to
It's
the main plot.
supposed to be
Okay.
a touch unrelated,
You know what?
but still intriguing.
You know what? I agree. Now that you put it like, you've never put it like that before.
Oh, okay.
We never-
That's how I've always pictured it. Yeah.
I'm on board. I agree with it.
Yeah, and
Yep.
reading this epilogue, the first read through, I was mad at it. I was like, you're not an epilogue. You're just continuing the story.
But if it's after the
But
after the
if
credits,
we think of it as after the
Ooh.
credits, setting us up for what's to come.
you're like, yeah.
Okay, you know what? It's separate enough from our main story. It gives us a touch of what's going on, but not enough, you know?
Right.
Like, it's just that, like, tidbit at the end. But now, before we get into that epilogue, let's take a really quick break, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay, so we're back, and I have a few thoughts about Matt and the band's trajectory now,
Okay.
but I think I'm going to save it because the next episode we record is going to be our book recap and review episode.
Yep.
And I think I need to do a bit more processing.
Okay.
And then, make my predictions.
Okay, I like that. I like it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's jump into this epilogue, which was a little longer than I expected it to be.
It is.
To be honest with you.
yeah.
The amount of perspective changes, initially, I was saying, made me think, you're not an epilogue, you're just more story.
Well, and again,
right?
sometimes with an epilogue, you get 4 perspective changes, but everybody gets a page.
But they're quick, and it's ooh, here are a couple things that are happening.
Yeah.
But this felt
2
heftier.
long ones. Yeah.
It felt hefty, and it felt like, that's just more story.
Okay.
But anyway, okay, so let's get into it. Epilogue is called Remember the Old Saying.
Yeah, love it. That's for later.
What? What do you mean? Oh. What?
We'll talk about that later.
Okay. Okay. I actually don't know what the old saying. Oh, at the end.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's kind of important. It's a little bit important. It's critical. It's really.
I remember there's something important off the top of my head. I don't remember the
That's
sentence.
okay.
Okay.
That's the margaritas. That's fine. Okay. Okay.
Sure. Okay. Chapter symbol, wheel and snake.
Yep, makes sense.
Okay. Now, we're going to enter in a Suroth perspective.
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to have to do some recap on who people are.
I know who Suroth is.
Well, I know you know who's. I hope you know who Suroth is at this point.
Okay. So, Suroth is having a meeting with...
Captain General Galgan.
Of course, that guy.
Yeah. I mean, you should know him. We met him one time before.
Well, he's trying to be the first emperor in over 900 years.
Yeah, okay, so he's the Captain General. He is basically in charge of all the Shanshan army of the return. So he's the big boy.
Yeah.
He's the guy.
Well, and Suroth yelled at him one time.
Yeah.
And then there was a guy in the room who kept adjusting his wig, right?
He smells musty.
No, but remember the wig guy?
The wig guy. I didn't pay attention to that.
That's all. Like, he didn't apply his wig gum.
Yes.
So annoying.
Suroth was annoyed also because Galgan, he was introduced when Rodel Ituralda was doing his whole battle stuff.
Yeah.
He came in from Eridomen, came down, messed a bunch of stuff up with his secret plan, which is kind of important here too.
Ooh.
And Galgan was like, oh, I kind of respect this guy because, he did pretty good
job.
tactics. Yeah.
Okay, but Suroth is thinking, I hate this guy.
Oh, yeah.
He sucks, and he stinks. Although he or she doesn't think that.
No,
but before,
she thought it last time, I'm pretty sure. It's musty or musky or musty. I don't remember.
Yeah, one of those.
One of those.
And musky. Musty is dusty.
Musky is old guy.
Musky's old guy.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so Suroth is thinking that once she receives word that Tuon is dead, then she can have this guy killed too.
Yeah.
Which is great. Because Semirog did as she promised, and she sent a ship from Shanshan land with official word about how the Empress is dead and the entire empire is just in ruin and rebellion and it's crazy and there's no more Daughter of the Nine Moons and
Doesn't matter. Yeah, it's
all
done.
of it's crazy.
Yeah, everybody, there's a little bit of world building. People got ashes on their cheeks if you're of the blood.
Yeah.
Because Empress is dead.
That's how you be in mourning, yeah.
Exactly, funeral rites and all that. So, okay. Galgan and a few more people dead and then Suroth can become the Empress.
Good.
Perfect.
Easy.
That's what we want.
No problems at all. I can't see how this plan could possibly be messed up.
And specifically, she's thinking, don't think of the new name you're going to give yourself because it's bad luck.
Bad luck.
To give yourself a new name ahead of time.
Yeah, don't think about it yet.
I think she has a name picked out, and that's the problem.
And that's the problem. That is why she's had bad luck.
I don't want to say it's a bad omen or something.
Nothing to do with Taviran. Nothing at all.
No.
Just this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, they're talking about how many soldiers come out of the mountains to join Ituralda and Eridomen, and we're sort of getting a recap.
Okay.
I know I'm going to want to glaze over it, but you're going to tell me
want to talk about
why this matters.
Okay. So, Ituralda, he's the guy who was like, hey, I'm going to ride in. I'm going to get all the foreigners out of my country.
That was the prologue of this book, or the prologue of a different book.
And then we saw the plan enacted, and he was actually doing it, right?
Yep.
So he was like, I'm going to ride down, I'm going to cause a bunch of chaos, and I'm going to leave.
And hopefully people come with me.
No, I want the Shanshan to chase me.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Not with, follow me.
Right.
Yeah.
He wants the Shanshan to follow him because then he can lay his trap.
Okay.
Right? Because Ituralda is a great captain. He's good at the traps.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So here's the issue. So when we're talking about the numbers of soldiers, they're like, hey, how many people did Ituralde cross back into Eridoman with? So he's gone.
Yeah.
Ituralde is gone. He's left. And they're like, hey, there's about 100,000 people with Ituralde. Okay. Now, the Shanshan forces are chasing after him now, just like Ituralde wanted. And we actually got to see that meeting where Galgan was like, hey, you take our guy. You go chase him. Go get him. Okay?
But then at some point, we stole all his Raken. All the Raken were supposed to
We
be in
didn't
Eridoman.
steal Raken. The Raken are off on a secret mission.
They were displaced somewhere. They were supposed to be in Eridoman or something.
There's a secret mission going on with the Raken and the Toe Raken.
Oh, do I know what that is?
No, it's a secret mission.
Oh, geez.
Why would you know what a secret mission?
Well, I thought like maybe it's a secret to Suroth and like we know. I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, there's a secret mission. But now they're like, hey, after the Shanshan forces chase Ituralde and cross the border, now there's another 200,000 who have cut the Shanshan off. So now it's like, oh, the Shanshan are surrounded.
Is that the trap?
Well, but here's the issue. Is like, Ituralde at no point has been like, oh, I've got a secret 200,000 soldiers
true.
lying in wait.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it doesn't make a lot of sense with the numbers. But anyways, Galgan's like, oh man, if it's true, that's like all the numbers that Eridoman could pull together. And we know that Eridoman isn't doing so hot right now.
No, Eridoman has always sucked.
It's always sucked, but it's especially doing bad right now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so
who are those people?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay.
Anyways, but the Shanshan still have Damani, so like maybe we're outnumbered, but like who cares? Because Damani. So
Okay.
All
right. Now we learn that Galgan has also promoted Tylee.
Yeah.
And that's Perrin's friend.
That is Perrin's friend. Yeah. Best friend, you could say.
Well, they shook on it.
They did.
Gave each other their first names.
We talked a lot about is Tylee getting a promotion.
Actually, now at this point, Matt tried to be on a first name basis. So we have Tylee and Perrin, who at the end of their sort of weird collaboration.
Okay, I like that word for it.
They shook hands, exchanged first names,
and
were like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Hope I don't have to meet you in battle, kind of thing.
Yeah.
At the end of Matt's collaboration, Matt tries to sort of say, call me Matt.
Yeah.
And then we sort of get this, like, you're actually really good kind of situation.
Well, no, the difference between Matt and Perrin is Matt is literally the husband of Tuon.
I know, but I just think that it's funny that he tried to be on a first name basis,
I get that. Yeah.
And they were like, no.
Don't.
We cannot.
Yeah. Perrin has no connection.
No, none.
It's fine.
None. Okay, but now Tylee has been promoted.
She got it, yeah. She's now of the blood. Good for her.
Low, though. Low blood.
That's better than not blood.
Yeah, I know, but like barely.
Oh, come on.
I know.
It's like super good.
It's low blood. It barely matters.
Yeah.
Okay, we're also going to find out that the Shanshan still don't have any reports on who caused the whole mess in the north.
Yeah, and got the big army they have to move out of the gap.
Yeah, and it's Matt.
It's Matt.
That's that whole thing,
yeah,
right?
but here's the thing, because Khareed's whole bluff was like, ooh, we know all this.
And they're on their way back
and they're coming back now. And Matt's like, no, they're not. Like, if they do know, no. And here, Galgan's like, we got no clue. I don't know.
But they do say something about being on their way back to the gap.
Well, because he's like, oh man, whoever
late.
made them leave is now setting up an ambush. So, like, that's going to be a problem. But Matt's not setting up an ambush. He just wants to leave.
He just wants to leave.
He just wants to leave.
He's not staying
there's
at the gap.
There's no ambush here.
No. He just
but
wants to
Galgan
go.
thinks there probably will be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now Suroth is pissed about this guy promoting people without her approval because she's in frickin' charge. And he's like, not really.
Not actually.
And then they have this whole, like, stupid conversation.
Suroth was in charge of the Forerunners, which come before the Return.
Right.
And he's in charge of the armies of the Return. And
which
he's
is
like,
better.
Yeah, well, yeah, literally, though. He's like, hey, when we all came, you guys became part of us.
Old news, Suroth.
Yeah.
I'm the now.
Exactly.
And she's like, no.
Yeah.
I'm the now also.
Yeah. And then she's like, oh, he's trying to become emperor.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to become empress.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, no.
Right.
No.
Now, this argument is cut off by the sound of boots coming from the corridor, and then suddenly Deathwatch guards fill the doorway, survey the room, and then in comes Tuon.
Right.
Head shaved,
Oh,
face unveiled.
Oh, man. She's the Highness.
She's the Highness now. Suroth immediately is on her knees. Everyone else is prostrating themselves.
Yeah, well, if you're of the blood, you can just be on your knees.
Yeah.
If you're like a regular person, prostrate.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Kiss the floor.
probably do that for sure if you're not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
That's
down.
why Surath goes from like knee and then she prostrates herself after. Right?
Yeah, because
things...
they're like, we know you suck, and she's like,
it's not me.
Not
no.
really.
Okay.
No.
There we go. That's basically what happens.
Okay. One time somebody left a comment and said, your rendition of what's happening here reminds me of, you remember that show Drunk History? Where we're like, you suck. No, you don't. Get down on the floor. And
Is that because I'm drunk and I'm talking about the history of Wheel of Time? Oh, no.
And I was like, you know what? That's a really good compliment.
It's
take
a good
it.
compliment. Yeah.
Okay, so Suroth is like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're safe.
Everyone's so happy you're
Everyone
safe.
is so happy you're here. Lights, blessings.
We were worried. Yes.
Highness.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's like, oh my gosh, Elbar failed.
Yeah. So here's the
that
thing.
Means
we got introduced to
this is a
Elbar
problem.
beforehand.
Hook nose guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's like the guy who's Suroth's right-hand man, basically. And then it's like,
he's the guy whose head they have.
Yeah. And it all comes together. And you're like, oh, okay. And when she's thinking, oh, this means that Elbar failed. But don't worry. There's still time to kill her.
Yeah.
And it's like, Suroth, come on. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Not going well.
She might not even proclaim herself empress until tomorrow.
Who knows?
So I'll just murder her tonight.
There's tons of time. Oh my goodness.
How, Suroth?
That's like me rationalizing myself for like it's like, I have 7 hours still to study for this test I haven't even looked at.
Yeah.
It's like, I have 5. I can study on the bus.
You know, it's called being optimistic.
Right.
Optimism.
That's what she is. You know what? I like it.
You know what? Me and Suroth.
Optimists.
Rays of sunshine.
Yep,
it's what I've always said.
Some say her biggest flaw is her optimism.
Yeah.
Not many people.
Desperation?
But... Yeah.
Actually, maybe.
Okay.
That's more like what's going on here.
That's like right away. Anyways.
Okay, yeah, she thinks, okay, Elbar failed, but it doesn't matter though. Gonna kill her. And Tuon says, show them what that captain guy brought me.
Mm-hmm. Time lapse, for the record, clearly. Just like pointing it out.
Yeah. That's what's
because
going on.
she's back.
Yeah. So. Well, it's also the epilogue. So, of course, time lapse.
Yeah.
It would be annoying if it was like the next second, because then what's the point of you?
To be fair,
epilogue.
too, like, Matt really didn't get that far.
No. No, and they went quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they weren't traveling with a circus.
They weren't traveling with a circus.
Yeah.
So, of course.
They're literally like, they're like 2 days away.
Yeah.
Like, maybe.
No, they're still in Altara. Like, they're literally...
They're very close.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's not that far. Okay.
No. Okay, Elbar's head rolls across the floor.
And it stinks.
Okay, it's been in a bag for 2 days.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And now Suroth is like, oh no, maybe I should start kissing the floor.
Yeah, and she absolutely does do that.
But don't worry, I can still recover.
No, you can't. And she's like, I'm so sorry that I offended you because he's my guy, and oh my god.
Oh, my guy betrayed. Oh no.
He betrayed me too. I'm also betrayed.
But if he said anything, it's a lie.
Whatever he said.
Right? Don't believe it.
Don't believe it.
Nope.
Because he's wrong.
He's definitely not telling the truth.
Told not the truth.
So funny.
Whatever he said.
Yeah. I love it. This is like one of those downfalls. It's kind of like the whole Galena thing. You're like, I hate you so much. Mm-hmm. And I love, like, again, it's bad people doing bad things to bad people.
Yeah.
I don't advocate for turning people into literal property.
No.
But if it's going to happen to anybody.
Anyone, Galena and Suroth.
Yeah,
sure.
You know what?
You know what?
Eat it.
I know. It's so bad. But also don't do it.
Yeah. But if you're gonna do it to people like this.
Yeah.
But don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Get it.
Anyways.
We get it.
Okay, let's
Tuon says,
yeah.
Offended me. Yeah, maybe he offended me. But he tried to have me killed.
Right.
Like, I'm not a dummy. Like, we figured it out, Suroth.
Everyone's gasping.
Like, oh my gosh. And then there's an entire thing where KoD plants his foot on Suroth's butt.
So she's basically lying on the ground.
Yeah, I know.
Foot on the butt.
I had to reread it several times because the way he's like pulls her hair so that her upper body's off the ground, I missed the upper.
Yeah.
And
you ripped her in half. This isn't Hartha. Like
I pictured her like one-handed being like.
Yeah.
I was like, is this guy so strong?
I feel like this is one of those situations when we had a whole thing about like
picture Suroth like not a tiny person, like not a small person.
Probably
so,
not.
Like,
But
I
like,
don't know.
this is the Ran in the box situation where it's like I don't really fully understand how he's like doubled over, and we had a whole conversation.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like you were on the floor trying to show like no, it would be like this. And it's like, okay, so lie on the ground.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my foot on your butt
No,
and
we're
then
not
pull
gonna
you
play
by the
this
hair,
game.
so your torso is like
Yeah, I get it
arched
now.
upwards.
I get it now. I get it
It's
now.
not good.
Okay, all right.
Anyways,
The whole idea is Suroth's in trouble,
that you could say that.
and Tuon doesn't even listen to a single thing she says, and essentially, in this moment, makes her property.
Yeah,
And
she's
is
like,
like-
hey, everybody knows
Yeah.
Albar is her guy. He didn't do anything she didn't order, so Suroth doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's Dako Val.
Yeah, and she screams.
Screams and screams, and they
Doesn't
cut her
even
clothes
think
off.
about the knife that she has to kill herself because of the
Exactly.
embarrassment.
Can't.
Can't.
Too late.
Too late. You know who won't be happy about this, probably?
Semirog?
Yeah.
Will Semirog really care?
No, I said won't be happy about this.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, this is her kind of number one among the Shan-Chen nobles
That's true.
to pull strings.
Okay.
Right? In her mind, if everything goes to plan, Suroth is the new empress, and she's pulling strings from the empress of Shan-Chen.
That's true.
So, does she care about Suroth's well-being?
No.
No.
But.
But.
Yeah, okay, I see that.
So, here, I think Suroth is not only screaming because, oh no, now I'm property and that's super embarrassing, but also Semirog is going to get a hold of me and literally torture me my whole life.
Like, maybe, or she'll just let her go and never talk to her again, and now
No,
Suroth is
that's
property.
I don't know much about Semirog,
Yeah.
but I truly don't think that's the Semirog way.
Okay, maybe in the future, but like we don't got time for that. We don't have time to personally torture Suroth.
I 100% think that Suroth is being tortured by Semirog.
Here's a question:
Yeah.
Are we going to see that?
Who knows?
Okay.
I'm going to talk about this next episode, but I have a list from the prologue of this book of where we stand with all the Forsaken.
Yeah.
And it hasn't changed, I don't think.
Well, it's been like a week.
I know, but since the beginning of this book to now,
Yeah.
nothing's changed. So,
Okay.
I mean, like, yeah, hopefully we see something.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Uh-huh.
Cool. And you're going to spend that time on torturing Suroth, who is,
Well,
you know.
it might be a little like just desserts, kind of. No?
Okay. Well, you know, it's fine.
It would be better than seeing people that we like being tortured. No? Prove me wrong. Fight me. I'm going to set up a table. Everyone can come over.
Okay. We have one more perspective to get to here.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay, so Pavara.
Yeah.
Hey, Pavara.
How you doing?
What do you think you're doing in these neck of the woods?
It's not good. It's going bad. Okay. Last time we saw her, do you remember?
Well,
Medium.
she was definitely involved in some of the Egwene capture stuff.
I mean, medium.
She was like around during that kind
Very
of stuff.
loosely.
Yeah. And she was having a meeting with the new head of the Red Aja
True.
about
There we
exactly what's happening here.
There we go. Yep.
Yeah.
So last time we saw her, she was in the tower. It was the whole like, hey, we need to bond Ashaman at the Black Tower plan.
Yeah.
And that was being implemented more
Yeah.
or less by Tarna. And then the whole like, oh, Tarna's the new keeper to Elida.
And I
so...
wanted to do a spit take. I thought this was so funny. I was
Yeah.
like, you guys are so far behind. You have no idea what's actually even happening.
Really far
and
behind.
now here they are rolling up to the Black
with
Tower.
6.
With 6.
When you're 51.
But you know what? Here's the thing.
Before.
The 51 rolling up looks like more of an actual force. 51 Aes Sedai when there's literally 300 in the world. That's a significant amount of Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
If you look at it that way,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
6, it's not that they didn't know they were rolling up. It's that it's much less threatening now.
Yeah.
Like when we look at the situation with the 51 rolling up with where the Black Tower was standing and 51 Aes Sedai coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fucking stopping them from getting anywhere near us kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, I get that.
Whereas 6 coming in, oh yeah, what are you gonna do here? The confidence has grown,
Yeah.
right? Oh,
It's
I
just
also
the- yeah.
now remembered
Okay.
what the saying is. I just remember that now, and it makes me okay. I have things
So
to say.
it's the okay.
No, we'll talk about it. We'll
Can
talk
I
about it
go?
later.
Can I go?
Yeah, your turn.
It's the story, and I may have told this before, but I read it on the internet one time where it's like, hey, the person lives on a farm and they have cats, and then the farmyard cats live outside, and then the coyotes keep coming by and eating the farmyard cats, so the person just keeps getting new cats. And then at some point it's like, hey, you're just kind of feeding the coyotes these cats.
Yeah.
So with these Aes Sedai that keep coming to the Black Tower, I kind of feel like they're the cats, and we're just like feeding the cats to the Black Tower.
Yikes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, let's start this.
Pavara has just come through a gateway from the Ogier Grove in Tervalin, and she's arrived in Andor with Javindra.
Yeah, so
she's a red sitter.
She is a red sitter, yep.
And then we also have Jezreel, who the only thing I have on her is that at one point she was keeping an eye on Egwene.
She was beating Egwene mercilessly. Oh, she stopped Katarina from beating Egwene mercilessly.
Yeah, she was there. She was like one of the watchers of Egwene, brought her fork root or something like that at one point.
Yep.
And I don't know if I know anyone else.
Okay, so we've got Desala, who beat Lyanna for saying she was Lyanna, because that whole thing.
Yep, okay.
You're not Lyanna. Yes, I'm Lyanna. Anyways.
Okay.
Then there's Molaire, who was like, hey, don't beat Lyanna for saying she's Lyanna.
Don't beat Lyanna. Okay,
yep.
Good.
And then there is Tarna.
Oh, I know Tarna.
Yeah, we know Tarna, the new keeper, but she's not.
She was the ambassador way back when, and Saladar.
Yeah, and she's now the new keeper to Elida.
Yes.
But she's here on this mission because Sutama, who's the head of the Red Aja, was like, hey, there's not enough names here of people who are willing to go to the Black Tower. Because there's literally 6 of them. And then there's Javindra Pavara.
Yeah, and these ones were chosen specifically of the Red Aja because they don't blindly hate all men.
They're also, it sounds like they're the only ones who
don't blindly hate all men.
Who would say yes also.
Like even remotely.
Yeah.
Yes, even with like bullying.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, we can, it's enough to start and we can get more later.
This is so pathetic. This is the most pathetic thing I've ever seen.
When you're like, oh, man, the Reds are going to be the ones to bond the, like, no, you're not.
And you're like, please.
This planet's terrible.
And one of them's like, well, she keeps a statue of some man that she loved a million years ago.
Yeah. And
so she doesn't hate men.
She speaks nicely of the guy who died a long time ago.
And this guy, or this Aes Sedai,
has a nephew
who she like helps with his schooling.
She pays for the nephew's. It's like, that's the best we have.
This is what we have. Yeah. We don't hate all men.
The bar is so low right now.
It's so low.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're rolling in.
Yep.
They're going to show up to the literal gate of the Black Tower, which isn't even a gate. It's like an archway.
Okay, here's the thing. It's actually really comical, too. The gate, the archway is huge, gigantic. Mm-hmm. It's like 50 feet tall, huge. There's no gate. There's no actual gate.
It's an archway,
But then also the wall beside that like extends from the archway is nowhere near to the same height.
Right.
Not built yet. Mm-mm. But it's like, that's what it's going to be. It's just really funny.
Sure. And there's like actually like some semblance of something that might be called a black tower.
Right.
It's like black and it has crenellated ramparts.
It's like if I was to build a house and I built a really big entryway, but the rest of the house isn't built yet, but you're like, whoa, look at that entryway.
You know what? That's how I'm going to build our house. We haven't thought about building a house before, but maybe we should.
Yeah. This is why you're not allowed to build houses.
Who said?
Put on the list of things you're not allowed to.
Who said?
Rural countries.
Who said I'm not allowed to build a house? I would build a great house. I want
huge door.
You know
huge door.
Okay, here's what I want in a house.
Okay.
Is this so much to ask? I want a walk-through pantry.
Yeah.
From the mudroom off the garage into the kitchen.
Through?
Yeah. So when you bring your groceries in, so you're in a garage.
Yeah.
You come in, then there's a doorway that's into the pantry.
Okay.
And it's walk through. So you can go all the way through to the kitchen. There's like 2 doors to your pantry.
Amazing.
Because I hate carrying the groceries to the kitchen from the front door.
See, my imaginary house comes with a full set of people who work in the house.
Okay, no, like an actual
if you're imagining
house
for anything,
no,
like it.
we're imagining a house.
You have 1,000 wishes.
Brett's like, I have a D&D room.
I never have to do. That's not so crazy. That's not crazy.
And like that's what I thought you were gonna say, something like that.
Well, yeah, but my imaginary house has 1,000 rooms.
It's not an imaginary house. Okay,
it doesn't.
It is an imaginary house. But it doesn't just have like magical people. This is like an actual like if you're
No. But that's part of my imaginary house is that it's magical servants.
Okay.
Did I not mention that?
I also want a big ensuite. I want
Done.
a soaker tub.
The magical servants can help you with that.
No, I don't want servants. Actually, that's not actually a thing I want. That sounds really uncomfortable.
You don't want people around you at all times?
No,
just waiting on you.
I'm not a lord.
Okay. We have a chapter to get to.
Oh, okay.
See, it's the margaritas.
It's fun. It's fine. We're here. We're doing it.
Okay. So we're at the gate.
Yes.
And we get we get some thoughts on the rules that these 6 red sisters have told each other.
We've decided on.
Number 1 rule: don't bond anyone who is visibly insane.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Any signs of madness?
Cool.
No bonding.
Don't do it.
Don't.
Okay.
Also, it's up to the discretion of the sister of whether or not she wants to bond a man who's strong in the power or not strong in the power, because there's benefits to both.
Keeping in mind, they have literally no way to determine how strong someone is.
No.
And we see that because, we get introduced.
We're jumping ahead of ourselves.
We are, but it's really funny.
Okay. 3 men in black coats come out to meet them, and they're like, hey, 6 Aes Sedai,
what are you doing?
Are here?
What are you doing here?
What's up? And Pavara announces, we're here to see the master, the Mahale.
Right. Yes. Not
We're
Master
from
Taim.
the Red Aja.
Yes.
Please let us in.
Yeah.
And they just like stare at them.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, let me go see.
Yeah. Wait here. So the one dedicated guy goes off.
Yeah.
He makes a gateway right here, and he leaves. And this is the whole strength and the power thing.
That's
because
when Pavara is like, okay, so did he make that gateway so tiny because that's as big as he can make it?
Right.
Or is it just like he literally only needs a doorway?
Which is like he's literally stepping through a doorway-sized gateway to go somewhere. Why would you make anything bigger?
Yeah.
You don't need to make
the
biggest possible gateway. Like what kind? And this is what you're judging strength off?
Well, because when they can make gateways, it's kind of like a toilet paper situation, right? With it's like, this is as big as I can possibly make it because I'm only this strong, right? I can only make a hole in the air.
I was trying to think
to put my arm through to the closet.
I spin off as much toilet paper as I possibly can.
No. That's when you're like, okay, I just need a roll of toilet paper and I've made a gateway that my arm can fit through.
Right, okay. I only need a tiny little hole.
Yeah.
All right. So let's wait for the dedicated to return.
Half an hour. They really make them wait to the point where one of them starts like reading a book.
No. But you skipped it. Skipped it.
What did I miss?
Berating the other Ashaman.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Hey boy.
Hey boy, shouldn't you be learning? Yeah, shouldn't you have your mommy teaching you the alphabet?
And I'm like really especially angry because I'm kind of protective of the Two Rivers people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you picked up on that.
Alcine.
Yeah.
It's an Alcine.
Sounds like
Alcine boy.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you be learning your letters with your mother?
It's like,
fuck you. Is he in kindergarten? Like
yeah. Yeah, so that's a bad start.
Yeah.
And the other guy stands up for him, but like in a nice way. He's not a dick about it either. He's like, hey, he's a fast learner. He is a child. He's a literal child, but he's learning fast and he, is good.
How old do we think? Like 12 maybe?
Probably like 12. Because there's the whole discussion.
Well, and that's hardly saying something because the Aes Sedai are literally, after like 16, you're not allowed to enter the tower.
Oh, yeah, it's the same. So like maybe he's 11, but like it's the same. It's the same thing.
Oh, you shouldn't be here, child.
It's like year. You have to wait one more year.
You only accept like 13 to 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
Because of how impressionable they are.
Exactly.
That's hypocrisy at its the finest.
Yeah. So while they're looking and berating at this boy, they look to each other and they say, okay, no children.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, that would be an abomination. No way.
Absolutely no.
And the Ashaman aren't idiots. And they're like, no children what?
Yes.
And they're like, nothing. And they're like, no. No children what? Yeah. What does that mean?
No, mind your business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when we take out the books and start reading.
Uh-huh.
And Pavara's like, yes, let's let them see how not afraid we are of them.
Yeah, we're so bored.
By reading.
Yawn, waiting.
And then Pavara's like, he's not even, he's not impressed by the reading.
No.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I love it. It's not going well.
Okay. So finally, another gateway opens up, and the dedicated guy comes back and says, the Mahale will receive you in the palace, and says, come on through.
No, go on through, because he ain't coming.
Oh, go on through. So the gateway is just big enough that they have to dismount.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, no, this isn't just like a power thing. This is like a no, fuck you, Aes Sedai.
Also, yeah. And I kind of agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
They've had a bad start, and it's the arrogance and smudginess.
It's the smudginess.
Yeah,
it always gets you.
Yeah. So yeah, going through this gateway, we do get to see the palace,
which is a legit palace at this point.
It is, but I also like that it's in the Saldean
manner.
Yeah, like the Saldean style of palace.
Architecture.
Yeah, because Mazrim Taim is Saldean.
Yes, he is.
So that makes sense. It tracks. Okay.
Now, it's not the biggest palace that Pavara has ever seen, but I guess it's still sort of big.
Yeah. It's like a little palace.
But now it's weird. There aren't any servants here that she can see, so...
Yeah. Well, there are some implications here. So, like, getting back into the serious side of things.
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, there's two schools of thought. Number one, are the servants being kept away from the Aes Sedai, or are the Aes Sedai being kept away from the servants? Or, I guess, third school of thought is like, are there just no servants?
Are there no servants? Because at one point, the Aes Sedai are either talking about, or Pavara is thinking about, how the Ashaman are so reckless with their teaching that they just let all of these young boys and all of these people who come in use the power nonstop. And it's so reckless because if you don't know what you're doing with it, you shouldn't be able to use it. That's her
And we've seen that before with like the Ashaman or the servants. But she thinks about
it again. Exactly, right? So it's like, are there even servants here?
But then there's also like the nefarious side. It's like, oh, we don't want anyone seeing the Aes Sedai coming in. So like, are we going to get murdered?
Maybe, honestly. Like, why did this take half an hour?
Yeah.
Like, there's several reasons. Like, they could just be making them wait for, like, funsies.
Exactly.
We could be, like, at a doctor's office and the doctor's just running late because they're overbooked.
He's in a meeting.
He's in other meetings.
You came in unannounced. You didn't even set an appointment.
Like, so literally zero.
Yeah.
Or are we, like, hiding all of the people who shouldn't see Aes Sedai?
Quick, put all the stuff away.
Well, all the people who we wouldn't necessarily want to know that a bunch of Aes Sedai are coming in here.
Yeah.
Because there's also that.
There's a lot of stuff that could be happening.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's go to the throne room.
Okay. Now, we have about 100 men in black coats with the sword and dragon pin standing around this room.
Yeah, so like full-blown Ashaman.
So we have like significantly leveled up.
Yeah.
And this was always Rand's plan.
Yeah.
To overtake the amount of Aes Sedai in the world with more Ashaman. He wanted to match the White Tower in like 10 years or something. Or like in the next couple of years, whatever it was.
Yeah, we're basically there.
And we're 100% there, except I'm concerned about these 100 men who are in Mazrim Taim's presence.
Well, and these are just the ones who are in the throne room right now.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Because we had Logain, who has mentioned several times about Logain's inner circle, right?
Taim's inner circle.
Yeah, what did I say?
Logain.
Shoot, yeah.
Yeah.
Taim's inner circle, Logain has told us about that.
Yes.
And so, and I think by the end of this epilogue, we get a little bit of a wink insight.
Okay.
Into what's actually happening here.
Let's get into that.
Okay.
So.
100 dudes, full-blown Ashermen.
Yep. Taim up on the massive throne, lounging in his throne. It's great.
I imagine him with his leg over the...
No, that's a Bashir thing. You can't take that from Bashir.
Yeah, but...
Bashir does the leg over the arm.
I know he does.
That's a relaxy Bashir thing.
But Taim has watched Bashir do that.
Oh, yeah.
And notices
he's a copier.
And knows the impact.
He steals it.
I believe it.
Hate it.
Yeah, so that's how I picture this.
Okay. Actually, I like that.
Pure arrogance.
I like it.
Yeah.
To take a Bashir move and use it for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Copycat.
Get your own thing.
Get your own thing.
Okay.
Now, Taim does speak first, and he says, 6 sisters of the what, Aja? And Pavara's like, red? And he's like, oh,
all right.
Okay, what are you going to do? Gentle all of us?
Right. Well, and to be fair, that was actually the Red Aja's plan last time they all came with 50 sisters, and that was the legitimate, like, attempted attack on the Black Tower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they all laugh at this point because it is so funny.
It's pretty funny. Yep.
And so Taim wants to know, why did you come here, actually? Because that can't be.
Right.
Like, there's no way that you actually thought you could come here and gentle all of us at this point.
Right, so, like, what's the plan?
Yeah. And so Pavar is like, here's who I am, and here's who we are. And then Taim is like, I didn't ask for your fucking names.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Okay, have you paid attention?
And Pavar thinks,
No.
This is going bad.
Yeah, it's like, shoot.
This is going poorly.
Yeah.
If only we had a gray negotiator who's so good at negotiating.
Get Marana in here. She'd know what to say. Where is she? Okay, have you paid attention to the aesthetics here?
Not really.
Okay, so there's a lot of red and black.
Mm.
And then Pavar's like, whoa, he must really like the red and black.
Yeah.
However, Taim doesn't wear the dragon and sword.
No, he does not. No.
You gotta separate, I get that. You gotta separate yourself a little bit because he's above the rest. But also, he has blue and gold dragons on the sleeves. Of his jacket.
His coat. Yeah.
From the elbow to the cuff. So
okay, it turns out I did notice. I just didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah, little imitational, but...
Well, and
like
he's got one more hand than Rand does at this point.
He does. You think he could lend him?
No.
No. Okay.
No. Okay. Lend a hand.
Okay.
Give him a hand.
Yep.
There's lots of sayings with hands. That's kind of ableist.
To
be talking so many things.
Like a one-handed painter. What was it on the roof? One-armed plaster guy.
Plaster guy.
Plastering the ceiling. It's really difficult.
Take a long time. Sucks.
Okay. Anyways.
And foreshadowing, because that was before Rand lost his hand.
Well,
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so Pavar does think it's going badly, but then she tells Taim what they're doing here.
Yeah.
And we want to bond Asherman as warders.
Yeah, we want to do it.
Yeah. Because, you're coming in a little bit too hot because she's like, hey, you bonded 51 sisters against their will, but we're not even going to propose that we bond people against their will, so...
Oh, so we're better than you.
Yeah. It's like, why would you lead with that?
Already, we're better than you, so just accept our deal because we're so nice.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the Ashermen is like, why would we ever allow... ... And then he gets smacked by a smack of air.
Yep.
So hard.
Yep.
That he starts, like, bleeding all over the floor. He's, like, out. He's done.
Oh, yeah. Well, we actually know this guy.
What?
Yeah. This is Mishrael. So we've heard this guy before.
Mishrael? I know that name.
So
What's this guy doing in Taim's inner circle?
Well, we heard about when he was starting to get private lessons from Taim. And Logain was like, screw this guy because he's a dick.
Shoot, okay.
Yeah.
Because did he show up with, okay. Because there was a couple in the inner circle who I was like, don't trust these guys.
Yeah. He's one of them.
He was one of them.
And he's still a dick, and he was a dick then, he's a dick now.
And now his head's
skull is
open,
fractured.
and he's going to die.
And here's the thing, again, the Aes Sedai come in, and Malaire is like, oh, I can heal him with your permission. And
oh my
Time's
gosh,
like,
he's
no.
still alive. His skull is cracked, but his jaw is broken. But I don't have that much experience with healing, but I could do something to help him. And it's like, yeah, so could we.
Yeah.
Idiots.
Yeah, they did it to him. This is the punishment. Like,
for
read the room.
Out. Yeah.
Read the room a little bit.
Absolutely
a little
no.
bit.
We have no skill with that, and we never have.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. I think the issue here, I'm having an existential crisis all of a sudden.
Okay.
Because I've recently been telling some non-readers about this book series, and it's really cool to be able to be like, the women can use the magic, and the men can't. And it feels like the women are all powerful and it's like a really cool dynamic. But in the end, the women kind of suck at what they do.
Okay.
And the structure that they've built, none of them are efficient or competent. And it doesn't feel that great this far into the series.
Sure.
And so now, when we take a step back and we look at what Egwene is trying to do to revamp and change some things, because this old, outdated structure obviously hasn't been working well.
Yeah.
But when you come at it from this perspective that it's like the women are all powerful, and that's for sure how the world sees them and how they want the world to see them, but really their arrogance and this all-powerful thing has been their downfall.
Yeah. I mean, I could also make the argument that the Black Tower being founded by the guys is not efficient and is doing very poorly
Oh,
also.
so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
But
I'm
that's
not saying that, they're
Yeah.
winning or anything. I'm just saying that, like, when you come into it being like, the women rule, and it's like, kinda, no, though.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's also like, it kind of relates to the real world where it's like, all the structures that have a bunch of guys on top, they all suck too, man. It's all bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's all bad.
It's all bad.
Yeah.
It's Barbie movie.
Yep, there you go.
All over again. You
Okay.
never saw that. You should.
No.
You should see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Anyways, it's gonna get worse before it gets worse.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's get back to what's happening here. Let's finish up this prologue.
Taim says, no, you don't have my permission to heal him. If he lives until nightfall, then he'll be healed.
Yeah.
Broken skull on the floor, man. Like, no.
Yeah, he probably shouldn't have spoke out. Impulse control.
Exactly.
We need some impulse control here.
Sure.
Then Taim is like, okay, you want to bond warders and your red sisters.
Yeah.
So, like, tell me about that.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? And Pavar's like, well, of course, reds have experience with men who can channel. And then that gets a mutter from the group.
It's like the experience you have is gentling
literally gentling them and then killing them.
Right. Or just letting them die.
Or just letting them die.
Yeah.
And then Pavar says, we're not afraid of them like other Aes Sedai might be.
Yeah. Which is like, that's not good.
No, because you're not afraid of them because of the dominance you have over them.
Right.
Like, that's also not good for a partnership, that's what a bonding should be, a partnership. And we've changed our customs and our laws so that we can bond as many as we feel comfortable with having.
Cool. Done. Easy. Love it.
Taim barely waits for her to finish, and he says, all right,
cool.
Sure.
Yeah, do it.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Anyone who wants to be bonded by you is welcome to be.
Yeah, do it.
And Pavar's like, what? Are
Really?
you sure?
Yeah, like, really? I had to convince you. I thought I had to convince you.
Yeah. Equal shares. What's fair is fair.
There you go.
And so he says, sure, we'll accept this. Anyone here who wants to be bonded absolutely can be. Besides, you must remember the old saying, let the Lord of Chaos rule.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Uh-oh. See?
Okay.
Dark friend. See? Dark friend. And Pavar even thinks to herself, I've never heard that saying before.
It's really funny.
And then all the men are laughing. Yeah. And it's like, okay, this is actually not a good situation for us, turns out.
Yeah, well, and then at the laughing, too, and Pavar's like, I don't know that old saying, but the hair on the back of my neck is standing up because the 100 Ashaman are all laughing.
Yes.
Totally sanely. It's like,
not sanely. Oh, they're all mad. Maybe.
Well, maybe, but it's like this is
all dark friends. 100 dark friends.
There we go. So where did the Lord let the Lord of Chaos rule come from?
Moradin.
And that was a specific meaning for who?
Taim.
No. Taim wasn't involved in that.
Forsaken only.
That was literally a Forsaken meeting.
Yeah,
of, like,
but
orders from the Dark One to the Forsaken to let
Taim
the Lord of Chaos rule.
Is one of the Forsaken.
No, he's not one of the Forsaken.
Oh.
What are you talking about? We already covered this. He is not Demandred.
Well, I know he's not Demandred, but he could be a different one.
Like disguised as another. He's a different person in disguise.
Yeah. So maybe I had it wrong the whole time. So maybe
Lanfear? Is it Lanfear?
No.
Okay, explain that to me.
I don't know, but
do you actually think he's still disguised? Like it's just Taim?
No.
You think he's disguised?
I'm back after this.
Oh no. Okay.
I'm back on the track of because I never one time thought good guy with Taim. And I was so sure until the very end of Winter's Heart, this guy's Demandred. Like 1,000% I believed that.
Yeah.
And then when we found out, no, Deshiva is Demandred.
Nope.
Narishma.
Nope.
Who is Demandred?
Nobody's Demandred. Demandred is Demandred.
Okay, no, okay, well, okay, Demandred's Demandred.
Demandred is specifically not Taim.
Hold on, I'm trying to catch I don't have any notes or anything in front of me, so I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head. Okay, listen. Deshiva was somebody. Osengar?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Who was?
Below.
Aegonor. Yep.
Okay, one of them. I can't tell those two apart.
It's okay. It's hard. I get it.
So Deshiva was a Forsaken, undercover.
Right.
And Demandred revealed himself in the cleansing to not know about Ashaman. And I was like,
Right.
okay, it's very clear Taim is not Demandred.
Yes.
Now, I still remained that Taim is a dark friend and a bad person.
Right.
Now, if he's just like top dark friend,
There we go. Okay.
that
Okay.
would make sense that he's getting Forsaken orders, kind of in the same way that Suroth, top, among like with Semirog, would get very direct, and like Alviarin would get top Forsaken orders. Maybe Taim is getting top Forsaken orders instead of being a literal Forsaken.
So, you're going to need to clarify then.
I know.
Do you think that Taim is disguised as, is a disguised character for a Forsaken?
You're going to have to wait.
Or is Taim just Taim?
You're going to have to wait.
For what?
The next episode.
Okay.
Ask me then.
Okay.
I need to process.
There's a lot.
There's a lot going on.
Okay.
There's a lot happening.
Okay.
And I need to process.
Okay. Is Pavara in a good situation?
Absolutely no. And ask me if I give a shit.
I don't need to ask you. Okay.
I honestly was waiting for something way worse to happen.
Yeah.
Like way sooner. Like the fact that they were being brought in, I was like, no. This can't go well for Pavara. You know what I
simply
mean?
wouldn't be brought to the second location. That's where you get murdered.
Don't go to the second location.
Okay.
Okay. This whole time I was thinking like, no.
Really,
this can't go well for them. You know
what
I'm
I'm waiting for is time to be like, here, come to my basement.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole Fael situation, the murder basement.
Oh yeah, no.
Never go into the basement.
Yeah, no, I'm not really sure, but I don't think that they're going to be allowed to just leave.
Okay, all right.
And if nobody in this room wants to be bonded by some red sisters, I don't think that they just get to leave and go back to the White Tower.
All right.
And chances are they will be bonded against their will.
Okay.
Probably. Because
bye, Pavara.
Honestly, yeah.
Okay.
Just too arrogant,
Yeah, okay.
Sucks.
And Tarna and Javindra and the others.
Yeah, which is fun because that's Elida's keeper.
Yeah.
And if we're pulling Elida down and she doesn't have her keeper with her in the tower, that's another one of Elida's keepers who's just left the tower and gone for too long.
Probably shouldn't have had her go.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Elida had nothing to do with that.
No, exactly. Yeah, but still, bad idea.
Well, unless the idea was we don't care about Elida, which sounds like almost every Aes Sedai in the tower right now, honestly. So that whole thing needs to get wrapped up, which we'll talk about and get into.
Okay.
But what I did want to talk about, honestly, so this is the end of book 11 of the Wheel of Time. That's what it says at the end of every book. And so I just wanted to say that. I said it at the end of every episode.
Yeah.
And so what's interesting to me is that I didn't know that on the audiobook there is a Robert Jordan interview after this epilogue.
Yeah.
So if you have the Knife of Dreams audiobook, after this epilogue, there is a spoiler-free Robert Jordan interview. And a couple people posted it in our Discord because we talked about it on our latest Q&A a couple nights ago.
Yeah, we did.
And it's really interesting. He talks about Harriet, his wife, as his editor and how much he trusted her with that and how he listens to the audiobook to get a different perspective on his books, and a lot of really interesting tidbits about how he took from different cultures for all of his world building. And it's just an overall really interesting thing that I wasn't expecting at all, because the audiobook ended, and I was picking up my phone to stop the audiobook because I don't listen all the way through the end of the Audible credits.
Oh, you don't?
No, unless I accidentally...
Oh, I do. I specifically do so that I can... It marks as finished without me having to click it.
Oh, well, I wasn't ready for it to be marked as finished.
Yeah.
Because I was going to go back and,
that's fair
the
too.
way that I read, I go back and forth between
That's true.
and I hadn't done my notes and everything yet. So I was ready to pause it. I was just and then the next chapter started and it was I'm sitting down with Robert Jordan. Yeah. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And so then there was a whole 6-minute interview or something like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that existed. So if nobody knows that existed, that is an interview that we can post in our Discord for people to listen to if they don't have the audiobook.
Cool.
Very cool. This has been a really fun episode. Is there anything that you would like to specifically talk about to end and wrap up here? Because we always go on our last episode, and we're really going to be able to tie up some loose ends in our next book recap.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to our book recap so we can like talk about the major themes and wrapping the book up and all that. So I think for now, I think I covered everything for this book.
Yeah.
Yeah, for now.
Good.
Okay.
Good ending, I think. Like, I'm left feeling intrigued and not angry.
Yeah, we got a lot of loose ends that got tied up this book. So
like, I felt satisfied. Oh, a lot of plot lines are wrapped up.
Save it for next episode.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them.
Okay. So, before you go ahead and finish Knife of Dreams, I'm going to go say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Well, that's the end of another fun episode. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. The Wheel Weaves is hosted and edited by Danny and Brett and produced by Danny and Brett with Passion Socks, KoD Fouts, Benjamin, Jamie Young, Megan, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Adam, Mozyme, Marta Thier, Michelle Forbes, MKM, Antoine Benoit, Lawrence Bradley, Eric Reed, Colby T, Gabby Young, and Grayson Ishara, with music by Audionautics. Be sure to check out our Patreon page if you're interested in supporting us on the podcast. We'd love to send you some Patreon exclusive merchandise as a thank you. Plus, you'll gain access to our episodes earlier than everyone else. And at the time of recording, we have over 45 bonus episodes for your listening pleasure. Find all that and more at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and information like how to send us shot glasses, how to join the Discord, or how to get in touch with us, visit thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, please be sure to give us a 5-star review because it really does make a really huge difference in helping other people find us. And tell a friend, Riyadh, because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks so much for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.